Hey people, Mike Martins here with the Mike Martins channel, coming to you from the Merritt Toys and Games here in downtown Merritt, British Columbia, where property taxes are higher than big cities. Anyways, so what's going on here? Well, there's lots going on. Today we're going to look at the top seven angriest, unfriendly, peed off cities in Canada. Canada's got a very interesting track record when it comes to building cities and city expansion. Canada was built by Western European settlers that came in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, and into the 90s. Canada cut immigration off to Europeans back in 1993, making it hard to expand and build more cities. In 2000, they had a campaign to bring in Portuguese laborers from Portugal, some from Italy, and some from Greece, to come in back and work in the housing and commercial workforce. Lots of them came, and then when the housing market went south in 2007, they just deported everybody. They were promised a permanent track to citizenship in Canada if they came to work. Now, Canada's stuck in a rut. They're having a really tough time expanding and building more cities, or there really hasn't been any big city production or big city expansion since 93. If you look at it, 2010, you've seen a little bit of growth, and then it's kind of just building in the same footprint and going up. Well, what's happening now? Well, cities are angry across Canada. People are upset. And I'm the same guy that brought you that video, the top 10 reasons why I left Vancouver. Not loved Vancouver, left Vancouver. Top 5 reasons why I left Brampton, Ontario. So I made, a couple of videos discussing my movements around. I should do top 5 reasons why I didn't want to leave Florida. But anyways, okay, here it is, guys. Went through a lot of research, paperwork, graphs, and from thefts to all kinds of stuff to actually break down or amalgamate this for you guys. So here we go, guys. Top 7 most unhappiest, peed off, angry cities in Canada. Number 7, Vancouver. Vancouver's been rated the most unhappiest city, like number 1, many times in a row. It's on the Vancouver Sun. It's on the front page. It made headlines everywhere. I lived in Vancouver, and I left Vancouver to move to a small town here in the mountains here in Merritt, British Columbia. In Vancouver, for some bizarro reason, everybody is always pissed off at everybody there. Very upset with each other without knowing them. I would stop at a red light. I'd look over at the car next to me. The guy would look at me. Give me the Vancouver glare. I call it the Vancouver glare. So I'd get that look. It's like, whatever. Yeah, I lived in Vancouver. I can tell you, man, it's a very unhappy city, unpleasant. I don't know why. It just is what it is. And that's just my point of view on it. Number 6, Burlington, Ontario. I've really never... I think I've been there as a child. I think I went there to a nursery to pick up grapes with my father to make wine back in the very early 90s. Like, I'm talking about 91, 92. Burlington, Ontario. So comment below why it would be number 6 on this list. Number 5, Toronto, Ontario. We left Toronto back in the day too because Toronto was getting to a point where, again, I think what's happening in these places is people are going and falling into more and more debt, or taking on too much more and more debt, and they're forgetting humanity. They're forgetting the reason why, the mission they're on, or it's all about money, right? And getting into debt doesn't make it easier when you know you got to pay it back with interest. So, Toronto, Ontario. Again, I was younger in Toronto when we moved out. I think I was 20. I think that's just around the time I moved to Mexico for a bit. So, Toronto, Ontario. Very unhappy, very unpleasant atmosphere there. And again, everything started to go south in 93 when basically the immigration started to change and influxes started to change and starting to blame other people for certain things. And I'm not going to get into that in this video. Number 4, Edmonton, Alberta. It's been called Deadmonton. I've even made a video that is Edmonton a poop hole? What is happening to Edmonton? I've heard so many stories about the crime rate just spiking after 2003, 4, 5. the cost of living just taken off after 2010. And it's a lot of people fleeing Toronto and Vancouver because it was so expensive to live there. So a lot of people moved to places like Edmonton, right? So Edmonton is number 4 on the list. Again, it was referred to as Deadmonton. Number 3, Calgary, Alberta. So the 2 major cities in the province of Alberta are both ranked number 3 for Calgary, number 4 for Edmonton as the worst unhappiest cities in Canada. And that's a pretty high ranking, considering in Toronto and Vancouver, everybody already hates you. So it's kind of scary, like, Calgary, wow. All right, let's go to number 2, Surrey, British Columbia. Yes, Surrey, British Columbia. Very unhappy, aggressive, peed off, angry city is Surrey, British Columbia. I worked in Surrey for a small stint, and I could tell you that it's very violent. I don't know if it's angry or peed off. It's a very violent city. And violence obviously stems from anger, resentment, and all that other stuff, right? Number 2, Surrey, British Columbia. And number 1, most unhappiest city, most peed off city in Canada. Can I get a drum roll, please? Brampton, Ontario. Brampton, Ontario. Yes, one of the most unhappiest, peed off, angry cities in Canada. Brampton, Ontario. My family and I lived there in the late 1990s into the early 2000s. We lived in a predominant Portuguese area, and it basically evaporated into something else. And most of the people were just deported too. Portuguese people they were hunting them down in Canada to deport them. But yeah, that was a big no. Brampton was, I think, by far. I just can't. I can't fathom just going to a Walmart or somewhere and everybody gives you this look like you burnt their house down. They give you this look like they automatically hate you already. You can't approach anybody. Everybody's like in this really upset mood there. That's just me, and that's why I left there. I live in a small city. Mind you, I'm not really well liked here too, but it is what it is. It's like big city guy moves into small town, opens a business similar to another business. That's why you guys need to check out the Merit Harassment series and kind of look it out and see what's going on. But that's just it. Angry cities. You would think that people would be moving here to the West to start a new life. And that's what my dad did. When he came from Portugal, it was a very tough run for us. I mean, very tough run. And then in the mid-'80s and early 90s, early 90s, I'd be looking for jobs. And my dad's telling me, you don't tell them you're Portuguese because they won't hire you. I'm like, wow, really? And I would go to a job, and then if they found out I was Portuguese, they fired me. So that's just how weird Canada is. And then now today, you look up articles on the mass deportation of Portuguese families, entire purging of families that were promised path to citizenship if they came and worked the labor market. And guess what? The articles are all gone. Every single one of them from 2007, 8, 9. 2006, 7, 8, 9. They're all gone. Because the CTV took a little bit of bailouts here and there with our public sector money. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Why have these cities become like this? You can't blame the Portuguese. They were all deported. So who's at fault for this? Why is there this issue in these cities where, I mean, you stop at a red light, you look over just to see who's there. The guy looks at you. Like holy crap. Anyways, comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Lots of love, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Tonight, Mike in the Night will be live with your call-ins. We'll be talking about worldwide federalization. Governments are going to federalize everything. Your shipping, the transport of our food, electricity, car insurance, gas to heat your home. A lot of it's still in private sector hands, but they're going to federalize all our big box stores. They're going to federalize everything here in Canada and the United States, and that's what they're pushing towards. They're going to have permits for, oh, you're going to use the bathroom after 6 o'clock in your house? You're going to need a permit for that to flush that water. Watch. And they're going to tax us to death through federalization. Comment below. Lots of love. I'll see you on the flip side. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.